Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a review of the Logitech Combo Touch iPad Pro case, which I have right here. This is an integrated keyboard case, so it's a separate keyboard which comes off and flips around like this. It's similar to the Magic Keyboard which they offer for the iPad, although that's more of a separate keyboard. And also they do a Apple Folio keypad case, which is kind of similar to this, but the keyboard doesn't separate, it just folds over. This case is priced at £180 for the 11-inch, which is the version I have here, and £200 for the 13-inch. This review should apply to both of them anyway because they are largely the same case. It shouldn't make any difference. Just to note, though currently it's on sale on Amazon for about £160, so you might be able to get it a little bit cheaper than what I paid for this case. It's not that cheap though in general. As I said, the main competitor is the Apple Folio case, which is priced at about £180, and then their keyboard, as I mentioned, is about £280, so that's a big price difference. So this is certainly cheaper, but by all means it's still a premium case. This is not a budget product. And I'll be taking that into account for my review. It's made of this like plasticky, rubbery material, but it kind of looks like fabric, like fibers, which it feels really nice. It does feel premium. And then around the sides, you've got this rubber bumper, which does come a little bit over the front to prevent drops. So it does offer quite a lot of protection to the case, which is good. It comes in both Oxford Grey and Sand. This is the Oxford Grey model. I haven't actually seen the Sand model for sale anywhere, so good luck if you manage to find it, but I really like this colour. I think it looks quite professional. It doesn't look out of place if you were bringing it to an office or somewhere like that. It also leaves space for the Apple Pencil on the side so that you can just magnetise it on and not worry about it. It is just magnetised though, so it could still fall off in your bag, but you know, if you're worried about that, keep it separately. But it's good while you're actually using it. You can just attach the pen and use it whenever you want. So in terms of the features of the case, so it's got a backlit keyboard and trackpad with various function keys such as a home button, brightness control, an on-screen keyboard button so you can bring that up if you need it, search so it goes straight into Apple's search function, backlighting so you can change the backlight on the keyboard, turn it off if you want to, medium controls, and a button to lock the screen. It has a USB port cutout, and the whole keyboard is powered off the iPad anyway, so you can still attach everything through your USB-C. I will say there's not that much clearance around the port, so if you've got something that uses a bigger cable, you might need to take the case off or use a dongle anyway. But yeah, I have found that I've had some clearance issues with some bigger USB cables, such as when you plug an SSD straight into this, there can be some clearance issues. As I said, it's got that wrap around, so that little bit of a bump, which means that it should be protected from falls, which is good. The buttons on the side through this rubbery material still feel really nice and clicky, which is really good to see, because sometimes cases can mean that they're not very tactile anymore. The trackpad is quite small, but it is quite nice. It lets you use your iPad finger gestures through there, so you can close apps or change between multitasking. So it's really intuitive to use. I don't tend to use the trackpad as like a mouse very much. I more use it for gestures, and that's because, I mean, you can just touch the screen anyway. And obviously with iPadOS you can attach an external mouse if you want to anyway. I've used my MX Master with my iPad and it works great, although, you know, not as fully featured as a full desktop OS. And it's got a nice little kickstand on the back of the case, which I will show you. So you can detach this portion, and then you've got on the back here a kickstand. You can use that with that attached, just to demonstrate. It like bends here, so you can hold it up like this, or you can bend it up that way if you're using it like off your knees or, you know, your lap or something like that, so that it will hold up the other way. It's like a kind of resistance thing, so I'm not sure if that will hold up forever, but it seems like it works for now. It's fairly robust. It doesn't seem like the iPad's gonna fall over whilst I'm using it, which is really good. So I do like that kickstand. And then in terms of the pros of the case, so this is now onto my opinion about the device. The keys are really legible, which is good. As I said, they're backlit, which is really useful. And also, I haven't experienced any fatigue from using them. I use them quite a lot. I write the scripts for these videos on them, and also I write my D&D campaign on there, and I'm a bit of a keyboard nerd. I like my mechanical keyboards. I use an Anne Pro 2 usually. And I haven't experienced any fatigue. The travel time's quite nice on these. I think the Apple keyboard is better, but it is that £100 more and it offers less protection to your case. So I like this. This is definitely a perfectly acceptable keyboard to use, which is good. The case is also versatile. As I just showed you earlier, you can separate it into two halves and use it in a much less bulky format. Granted, it doesn't have any protection on the front, but if you're just like reading off your iPad and you don't want that extra bolt, you can just detach the other half and use it that way. And that's something that you can do on the Apple keyboard, but then, you know, your iPad's just exposed. So if you did drop it, there's no protection. Whereas this one, hopefully that rubber lip will still protect it a little. And yeah, sort of on top of that is it's got that rubber surrounding and it's made of nice premium materials. I feel like it's very tough. I basically just chuck my iPad around. I don't worry about it at all anymore. And it's never really been an issue. Like, I think it's a really great case for that. Also, yeah, the overall quality and feel of the case is good. It feels like a premium product. It doesn't feel like those 10, 20 pound cases that you get on Amazon. It really feels nice. It's nice and tactile. It's something that I really like, and I think it is important when you're putting such an expensive device in here. You don't want, you know, sharp edges or anything like that. It's really nicely finished by Logitech. I think they did a really good job there. And that's where, coming on to the fact it's made by Logitech, they're a company that I trust quite a lot, which is really good. They offer a good warranty. I use an MX Master all the time on my main PC before, and they've had to fix it, and I think it works really well. Like, their whole customer support service has been really good. They just basically offered me a replacement, and that's something that is really good if anything did go wrong here, although, I mean, the chances in a case are quite low, to be honest. And then on to the cons about the case. Whilst I really like the trackpad and it's really responsive, it's a little bit small, and on top of that, the click is quite mushy. So if that's something that would annoy you, then either use an external mouse, which is what I tend to do, or I just tap, or this might not be the right case for you, which is completely different to the keys, which have quite a nice travel time. And whilst it's versatile, as I said, so you can like prop it up with its back stand. The issue is that the Magic Keyboard actually raises the iPad a bit, which is much better for your back if you're sitting at a desk for long hours typing. This is not that kind of case. This is definitely a bit more portable. So it can contribute to back pain, so I wouldn't advise spending hours and hours typing on this case, for sure. And also on top of that, this thing, I don't know if you can see, it's quite wide, it's quite heavy when you've got the keyboard attached. It does add a lot of bulk, so it's a lot more to carry around in your bag if you have to. So it is certainly a heavy case. Another thing is I would still suggest the screen protector on the iPad, because a lot of the time I find myself, when I'm like drawing or when I'm just reading, not using that keyboard portion, or having it in this mode here where it's just converted, and then if you drop it, you can still damage the screen. So I would still have a screen protector on it, and that's probably a drawback of the case, because, you know, it would be nice if it protected the front as well. The only other thing that I can think of in terms of cons is that the keyboard portion is a little bit flimsy. There's like a little bit of flex in it. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to break the thing, but I feel like if I dropped this and stepped on it or something like that, it would certainly break. So that's something to bear in mind if you're one of the clumsier type of people. Like, it is something that could be broken for sure. And then in terms of like an overall conclusion and my thoughts on this thing, I've had it for around 2.5, 3 months now. I really like this case. I think it's great. I love the keyboard. It's really useful to use. It's much better than I used to use like my Magic Force separately on it, and that's a lot less versatile. It's not something you can use on your lap, and it's more pieces. It's a bit more fidgety. This is one package you can take around with you. You can type on the train. I think it's really, really useful, and I use it. It just means that I use my iPad all the time. In fact, the amount that I use my desktop has really gone down, so I think it's really great for that aspect. And in addition to that, it is bulky, but you can remove that second portion and then doesn't feel as bulky, and it just offers that real peace of mind, and I think it's a really quality product. I've had a cheap £20 case on here as well, and I think this is just a big upgrade in terms of how comfortable I feel with throwing this into my bag, and that's about it really. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. There's more tech reviews, more how-tos to come, so please remember to like and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. I've got Galaxy Watch 4, which I would love to upload a review of, and I've also just bought a Lumix G100, which is what I'm recording this on now, and I would love to do a review on that. But yeah, please comment below if you want to see anything. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.